welcome to Life of the Troxels. My name is Laura and I'm a mom of three. I have three girls, a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 6-month-old. And I was up with the baby a few nights ago and thinking about how different it was being a first-time mom with a newborn and a third-time mom as a newborn, and the few things that I've changed in my life and changed how I mother my third child, and I wanted to share them with you. So I wrote a few ideas down. I think I have about 13 ideas, and I wanted to share what some of the things I no longer do as a third-time mom. So the first thing I no longer do is use the changing table for the middle of the night changings, and I actually just use my bed instead. With my first daughter, she would sleep in the master bedroom with us, but when she woke up, I would pick her up and carry her to the nursery. That's where I would change her and feed her and put her back to sleep, and then carry her back down the hallway and put her in the crib in the room with me. And now as a third-time mom, when the baby wakes up, I just change her on the bed. If she needs it, I'll feed her right there in the bed and put her right back down. So I'm only walking about 3 steps instead of the 30 to the nursery and back, which makes it a lot easier for me to get back to sleep after waking up with her in the middle of the night. Along those same lines, another thing that I no longer do is tread lightly when I'm walking with the baby, or if it's the middle of the night. With my first daughter, I would pick her up so carefully and walk so quietly and open the door slowly and close it slowly, turn the knob just gently in order to not wake her or wake my husband or make any excess noise or movements. However, with my third daughter, I would just, even if she was sleeping, just walk down the hall, open and close the doors as normal, move around as normal, and I would find out that she would stay asleep and my husband would stay asleep, and I would be able to move a lot faster through what I needed to do. And so I am not scared of making that noise, and I'm confident that even if a noise did disturb her, that I would be able to get her back to sleep again. So another kind of sleep related thing that I no longer do is follow wake windows. With my first, I would have that app. I think it's called, what is it called? Well, I can't even remember what it's called anymore, but I could put the name on the screen once I find it, and it tells you about their wake windows and when they're hitting like milestones, and I would rely on that app because I was just not confident that I would know when my baby needed a nap. Now, as a third-time mom, instead of using those apps, I just check on the wake windows for how long that she's been awake in between her naps, and depending on the age, she's either taking 4 or 3 or 2 or 1 nap a day, and I kind of space out the day based on what her nap schedule is. So I base it on what time she wakes up, how long her wake window is, which is, her wake window right now is about 3 hours, and so we get our feeding and our playtime in before she has to go down for her next nap. My fourth thing that I no longer do is also overnight sleeping related, and that is I no longer change her diaper in the middle of the night for those feedings. There's a few exceptions to this. Obviously, if she has a really dirty diaper, it needs to be changed. And when they're a newborn, you have to change it more often because the diaper gets dirtier. Now that she's 6 months old, even if she has wet her diaper, it's usually not enough to disturb her sleep. So I will just keep her in that diaper and feed her and get her right back down. And that doesn't disturb her as much as it would be if I got her completely unswaddled out of her sleep sack, out of her PJs, and use a cold, wet wipe on her to change her diaper. If it's not necessary, she can make it through the night in that one diaper without it leaking out. So that has made my life a lot easier to keep her kind of sleepy overnight versus that startling wake up getting changed if she doesn't need it. My girls go to daycare. I have a full-time job, so they go to daycare during the day, and we send them with some spare clothes in their little bags to have if there's any accidents. And one thing I've realized is that they're coming home in their extra set of clothes most of the time, especially my little one, my 6-month-old. So I used to just put like the ugly clothes that might be a little bit older, a little bit stained. So I'll put those as like her spare clothes to change into in case she needs it. Most of the time, she's coming home in that spare set of clothes because she's had a dirty diaper, and the cute clothes I put on her in the morning, she's changed out of within a few hours. I've actually reversed it, and what I'll send her to daycare in the clothes that I wouldn't be upset if they got upset. And then when she has some leakage and she needs an outfit change, she gets changed into her cute clothes and spends most of the time in her cute clothes and comes home and those are perfectly clean. So super random, but that was just a change that I felt was necessary and has worked out pretty well. Another thing I will no longer do as a third-time mom is bring my kids with me to social gatherings. And there's a lot of layers to this one, but the first one is it's a lot harder with 3 kids. When I just had one, I was able to bring her with me. I could keep her in the car seat if I needed to. I could put her down for a nap in the stroller as we're walking somewhere, or just have her hang out with us. And it was a lot easier to do with just one. When I have 3 kids, especially if I'm going somewhere with my friends that I want to visit with, I'm not able to do that with all my kids that I have to watch at the same time. I brought my first daughter to game nights and put her down on the bed in someone's room. I've gone to memorial services, like funeral services with her, and we just sat in the back. And I've taken her on lunch dates where she just stayed in the stroller or in the car seat with us. So now I can't do that in the same way. So it either means that I have to get a babysitter, which is also difficult to do, or I just don't go. And so my options most of the time are I just go to less social gatherings unless my kids can come with me. And then one thing I've thought about, since we just had my daughter's 2nd birthday party, we did it here in the backyard, is that I have less elaborate birthday parties. And we never did anything crazy. All of our birthday parties have just been in our backyard or in, my sister's backyard. And it's just been our family, and it's been something pretty fun. But I had big balloon arches, and I had different games that we were all playing, and I handmade the birthday cake and the frosting from scratch, and took days to decorate it and plan out the outfits we were wearing. And it just became a little bit overwhelming with everything that, all the dreams that I had for these birthday parties. And we just had my daughter's party a few days ago. She turned 2, and it was small, just a few balloons, just a few decorations. We had a bounce house. We ordered some food, using a box cake mix instead of making it from scratch. And it made my life so much easier, and it was still such a wonderful time. So I was able to make the parties a little less elaborate for my sanity, but my daughter still loved it. So speaking of my daughter who just turned 2, another thing I will no longer do is hold my daughter by her wrists. it's a lot easier when they're little and you're reaching down to just kind of, instead of holding their hand, you kind of grab them by maybe their wrist as you're walking, or even just holding their hands. I always make sure I grab them by their upper arm if I need to grab their arm in some way. And this came about because of something called a nursemaid's elbow. And this happened with my daughter a couple months ago. So we were playing in the on the beach, and the waves were coming, and every once in a while there's like a little bit of a swell and there's a bigger wave that comes. I was holding her hand, the big wave came, and so I yanked her up so the wave wouldn't sweep her away. And as she was there, she was basically just dangling by her arm with me holding her wrists. She dislocated her elbow. And it's apparently very common for toddlers for this to happen. It's actually even happened to her cousin. I took her to the urgent care and I told the story to the doctor. He knew exactly what happened. He was able to pop it right back in, and she felt so much better. And now I know that if you're going to be holding your kid, your toddler, that you shouldn't hold them by their wrist. All of the advice that you hear as a new mom is how to hold your newborn, support their head, and things like that. But nobody ever tells you how to hold your toddler. You think that just kind of comes along with it. But one of the things is, don't hold your toddler by their wrist. Another thing that I feel is important is that I don't want to buy my kids clothing too early for the season. It's always fun to shop the sales and to buy new clothes for your kids. And so if I find something that I think is really cute, but maybe they don't have it in my kid's size immediately, I think ahead, okay, I'll just buy it in the next size up, so when she's in that size, she can wear it. But whenever that happens, I always find that she ends up not wearing it. And it's because by the time that season comes along, it could be that she's actually grown 2 sizes and she missed the window of opportunity. A lot of the times her birthday's in the summer, so you buy something for Christmas that 6 months later you buy a 6-month outfit. She actually is in 9 months by then, and so you try to have her wear the 6-month outfit when she's 3 months, but then it's in the middle of summer and it's not seasonally appropriate. So I find I have some long sleeves that fit her in the summer, and I have short sleeves that fit her in the winter, and it just never works out the way that I want it to. So I just buy the next size when she needs the next size in the season that it is, and that way she's able to get a lot more wear out of her outfits instead of guessing on what her size is gonna be, hoping that she's the right size when that time comes. So this is a newer thing that I've started doing. I guess all of them are newer since I've just barely become a 3rd-time mom. But I have made a promise to myself that I will not reschedule appointments. And obviously things come up, and I have had to reschedule appointments for a few different reasons, but it makes it so hard to keep track of everything on your schedule if it's always changing. You know, we have 5 people in our family, we have 2 pets, we have all sorts of appointments, doctor's appointments, vets, the dentist, we have all of the doctors that we need to go to. So if I'm always rescheduling, everything just gets pushed out on the calendar, and then by the time you don't even realize how much time has passed since you were supposed to have your appointment, because you just continually reschedule it. So there are very few exceptions for me to do this, because it's so hard to even find a time when I'm available to take them that also works with the doctor's schedule. So if I'm rescheduling it, it's so much harder just to find an open time. I've also stopped following other moms and I guess we want to call them influencers that make me feel bad about myself. So when I had my first, I was very excited about seeing what other moms were doing and the advice that I could get from them, and a lot of them were able to have a motherhood journey that looked different than what I was hoping for at the time. And it made me feel bad about myself comparing my experience as a first-time mom with their experience as a mom, which isn't fair to me. And I don't follow them if they make me feel bad or if I don't like seeing their posts or their videos in my feed. And so that kind of leads me into another thing that I've stopped doing, which is the comparison. I've stopped comparing what my journey looks like compared to someone else's motherhood journey because I don't know the true story. I just know what they have shown me. And if they want to show me only the good things and I'm comparing it to the bad things in my life, then that isn't good for my mental health or make me any better by comparing myself. And I shouldn't compare myself as a mother, but I also shouldn't compare my kids to what their kids are doing. Everyone hits milestones at different stages. Everyone has different parenting styles, and their kids are all different and different personalities. And so I should look to them for advice on things that I'm looking for answers on, but I should stop following anybody who, through no fault of their own, just doesn't make me happy to see in my feed. I kind of end on a little funny one, that now that I'm a third-time mom, I no longer finish eating my meal in one sitting. And I wish this wasn't the case. I wish that I could just sit down and everybody's eating at the same time and we're all eating our dinner. But, you prepare the meal for your kids, you prepare your plate, and by the time you're ready to sit down, they're already asking for, some more fruit, or they want some ketchup on their plate, or they've spilled their milk and you need to clean up the spill. They're always asking for something or trying to get rid of something. And, the other night, my daughter wanted some extra hot dogs, so I'm cutting it up for her. I put it on her plate. She's already stuffed them all in her mouth and wanted more hot dogs before I could even sit down with my plate. And I love it, and it's hilarious, and I'll continue to feed her as much to make her happy as possible. But my food is usually cold or half-eaten or a combination of the two. And I guess that just comes with the territory when you're a third-time mom. But that was, I think it was 13 things that I no longer do as a third-time mom compared to when I was a first-time mom. And I really hope that you enjoyed it and that you found you were able to relate to some of these. If you're a first-time mom, something for you to look forward to. And if you're a more experienced mom, whether you have 2, 3, 4 or more kids, please share some of the things that you've also learned as you've kind of grown in experience and grown in confidence as a mom. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching it and you want to see more videos like this. And come and subscribe and see some of the other things that my family is up to. This channel is called The Life of the Troxels, so it just shows the life of me and my husband, our 3 daughters, and some of the adventures that we go on. We go to Disneyland, we go RV camping, we've done some DIY work around our house, so it just has a lot of interesting updates that we like to share with you on this channel. So subscribe if you'd like to see more, and thanks for watching The Life of the Troxels.